On today's Saturday news, Drew McIntyre goes dark on Twitter and deletes all WWE references.
We've got an update on the WWE Draft.
Cody Rhodes is looking to pursue Hollywood.
And a massive WrestleMania rematch has been set. Are you ready? Are you ready for the news time? My name is Phil Chambers and I'm joined by Gareth Morgan and Salty Sea Dog as well to talk all things wrestling news. But before we get into it, make sure you like the video, comment down below what you think of each of today's stories, subscribe to the channel, links to each story is in the description, in the timestamps, click them and off you go. But first up, Gareth.
We need to talk about Drew, don't we? Because what's going on? Drew, we barely knew you. He's apparently gone, well, he has gone dark on Twitter. Like, he's blacked out his banner thing, his profile pictures, deleted all references to WWE apart from his Twitter handle, because that's just the whole other thing that Elon Musk does seem like you right there. It's not fun. You don't want to try and do that right now. But he has pretty much blacked out Twitter. And this all comes on the back of recent reports saying that he was in the final year of his deal with WWE, and they were said to be very far apart on like agreeing an extension. That they were the reports at one point. And then there was an update from PW Torch's Wade Keller that said Drew was unhappy with his current situation in WWE, and WWE is taking it seriously, the possibility that he is going to let this deal run out rather than agree to something that he believes is less than he deserves or less than what he thinks he has coming. So that's, again, further evidence that I don't know what's coming next for Drew. None of us do. Like, it is very uncertain. And this now just feels like the latest thing, which is maybe Drew just trying to lean into it and just create a bit of buzz, a bit of a stir, like we saw Bayley do recently. And I think Seth Rollins, did it in the lead up maybe to, I don't know if it was his
Mania, when he didn't have the match set for WrestleMania, but then it turned out he was wrestling Cody, so it all came up roses for him.
So you just did it first. Drew's going to fight Kenny Omega at some point. That's what's going to happen. But yeah, that did happen there. This is a tactic, you could say, that wrestlers have used in the past, but for me, like, he's been missing on SmackDown the last couple of weeks. I think this is reportedly due to a health issue that's not really been specified. And I think he may have had that issue going into WrestleMania as well when he had that 5-star classic with Sheamus and Gunther. And at this point, we don't know. That could be the last time you see Drew in a WWE ring, or this could just be Drew's way of building up to a really epic return where he blows the roof off of an arena, signs a big contract and says, "I'm here for life, baby." We don't know.
Yeah, it's an interesting this one for Drew because like, as much as it might just be him winding up the fans, building up to something, it might be hinting at like some kind of maybe a character change or something. He's been this kind of babyface character for quite a long time. Maybe they're going to go in a different direction, turn him heel or something like that. There's like loads of other things that it could well be, but as always at the back of your mind, as much as Drew right now feels very much like a WWE guy, he is historically like one of the first people to leave that place and just go off and figure out who he is and what he wants to do on his own outside of WWE. He had ended up smashing it all over the world on the independent scene and things like that, to then eventually come back into WWE once he'd figured out like what he wants to do. Like this, he has history there of betting on himself and going off and doing his own thing. So very much could go either way. This, it could just be him working the fans and having a bit of a play around. It could be a like angling thing for a better contract, like a bit of a deal making kind of thing that he's got going on, or it could just be another dose of him betting on himself, figuring out, well, I've got options everywhere that I can go and do quite happily, and go in that route. So we'll have to wait and see, I guess, for Drew. But I have been really enjoying his recent stuff with Sheamus. He went a little bbit stale, I guess, for a while.
I think it was after the Clash though. Yeah, well, after the World title, then after Clash, it all kind of
especially
went
after
again.
Clash. So he definitely, I think there's something there to be said for mixing up the character a little bit, maybe a heel turn or something, maybe getting rid of the sword stuff or whatever it is.
Or maybe just use the sword stuff to just dominate and kill everyone.
Maybe actually goes around killing people. Who knows? We'll have to wait and see. But what else were we going to have to wait and see on the WWE Draft? Last week, Triple H came out and he did his big rah-rah speech thing and he announced the WWE Draft was coming up. We have an update on this and exactly when the draft will take place. So the first night of the WWE Draft will be on SmackDown on April the 28th, and then it will continue on to Raw on May the 1st, doing the 2-night thing again, and then Backlash is on May 6th. So I guess the main draft thing will kick in on the Raw after that, which is on May 8th.
Cool.
So slightly odd timing with the sort of Backlash pay-per-view in the middle, but I guess they can still do the stories up to that, have Backlash as the big blow-off as to what this was, and then straight away, as soon as Backlash is finished, move into what's new with the draft. But it's also odd timing in that it's coming at a time when, like, not that long ago, there were reports from both USA and Fox that both TV stations had very much cooled their restrictions on having, like, a strict brand split and certain wrestlers on certain things. I mean, on USA's part, they probably just wanted more Roman Reigns on TV. But it seems like that was the only reason for the brand split in the first place, was that USA and Fox wanted their sort of designated top stars to be on their brand, so each show has sort of that kind of destination programming feel to it. So without that, there doesn't seem to be a point in the draft at the minute, and I think the way they've got it working at the minute, with certain people going backwards and forwards, like the Bloodline will occasionally come to Raw, Judgment Day will occasionally go to SmackDown. I think they've found a nice mix of just bringing who's hot across each show and making the most of that. But I guess, yeah, going full draft again, at least sort of mix it up a little bit. I really hope they do something a lot more interesting with the actual draft shows this year, and there's no word yet on what that is going to look like, but please God, don't make it just, well, it won't be Stephanie McMahon just sat there reading numbers, but like an Adam Pearce or a Sonya Deville just coming out going,
I think we had that. I think that was the last. I'm sure that was the last one. Yeah, Pearce and Deville, and it was
something more interesting with it. Please.
I want the graphics. I liked it when you saw everyone flashing. It was like when it came up with somebody, you're like, wow! I thought that was great, and like you had matches to decide who got the pick, and just try and do something that's entertaining and not just a lottery thing. That was just silly, but. I'm not sure. I think the big thing with Fox and USA is that they probably want a world champion, don't they? They want somebody who's just eye-catching and can be at the top of the card. And if Roman is holding all the belts, that makes that really hard. So I think the split happening again feels like another step towards those belts being pulled apart. And like we're going down that route, I believe that is maybe where they're going with that. So I hope it's where they're going with that, because I'm a little bit tired. I just want a world champion on both shows, and just give us a reason to like tune in and see them, because I miss them, and they're going to be gone for months and months and months with Roman there holding them. And speaking of the person who should have taken them off this man and splitting them in two, Mr. Cody Rhodes, he has been thinking about the future. He has been, because when he was in LA, right, he's a very, very savvy man, very business savvy. He took that opportunity, and this is according to Fightful Select, he took that opportunity to take a few meetings, a few acting meetings and Hollywood meetings, film and television meetings for some parts, some potential upcoming parts. And what are these parts, I hear you ask? Well, apparently he was linked to, or maybe he was interested in, going up for the character of Johnny Cage in the upcoming Mortal Kombat sequel. And if that's kind of like setting off a few alarms, like you're thinking, I'm sure I've heard something about like a wrestler, but I fancy going for this Johnny Cage part recently. Well, The Miz publicly expressed interest in it a couple of years ago, and Cody's just come in and gone, nah, I'll do it. Just you stay down there, Miz. Like I've actually
got to say John Morrison for a second, and that's just his latest update. Johnny Nitro, Johnny Cage,
Johnny Cage, Johnny Combat with a K. Like he's just laughed everyone off. He's apparently now put his name into that hat, which I could see. That'd be cool. He looks like a movie star, looks like $1 million. But there's another role apparently that he's potentially been talking about the possibility of. So maybe not just the role, maybe just stepping in for the movie, is an upcoming Zelda adaptation, The Legend of Zelda. So that could be something. Apparently he's a big fan of that, so that could be exciting as well. Two big names there, two big properties, and if he was in either one of those,
there's a link.
Why not, eh? I could get another tattoo on the other neck, might be.
Both got blonde hair, so what?
I could see it, and I think he makes a lot of sense right now for being like the next person to walk down like the footsteps of like your John Cena, your Batista's, The Rock. He really looks like a movie star. He just does. Like, you look at him, you go, I can see that guy in Hollywood. So yeah, that's apparently he's looking to add some more credits to his CV. He's obviously been in TV shows like Arrow, Warehouse 13. He's been in unscripted like reality game show series like The Go Big Show, Rhodes to the Top, and Wags Atlanta. I believe that's Wags Atlanta. Missed that one. My fault, my loss really. But yeah, Rhodes looking again some more Hollywood credits.
And why the hell not? Do it while you can, Cody. reach for the stars, do whatever the hell you want. He's already proved that he has this weird innate ability to like just make the absolute best of every single situation he's in. And now that he's on the biggest platform of WWE, why not take advantage of that and going after some other things to set you up for the future? In fact, like you can see on the Xavier Woods interview that is on the channel right now, pimping other stuff, check me out. Go watch it. But he is there talking about like things that like you need a bit of an exit strategy from WWE, and he's been trying to build up, down, down as much as he can, and he also wants to go host a game show at some point.
Oh, I could see that.
To go
I could definitely see that.
He would be amazing at. But yeah, Cody, everyone needs this kind of exit strategy, and why the hell not? If you're gonna take advantage of it, take advantage of it right now while you're on top. 100% go get him, Cody. But speaking of Cody, not really, kind of, but a rematch between the Usos and Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens is coming up in 2 weeks in Corpus Christi, Texas on SmackDown. It was announced last night just before the main event of Matt Riddle versus Solo Sikoa. And it was quite an interesting little moment on SmackDown. Paul Heyman was out there obviously cutting a Paul Heyman promo like he does. It's always fantastic. Talking about the biggest tag team match in SmackDown history. And he basically said that Sami and Kevin Owens will lose to the Usos. But in it, he kind of had a little message for the Usos as well, because he was saying, like, he was kind of behind the Usos as he was speaking, and he was like, you will lose the tag team championships to the Usos because the tribal chief is losing patience with the two of you. But he wasn't looking at Kevin and Sami. He turned around and he stared right through the back of the heads of the Usos. A very interesting little moment, like things might be coming to a head within the bloodline. Big fan of this as like a little story development and things, and obviously the match at WrestleMania was spectacular. So we'll have to wait and see what happens with the match on SmackDown and whether the Usos get the titles back to lead into Clash of Champions, or if they're just gonna probably leave the tag team titles off Clash of Champions in Saudi Arabia because of obvious reasons with Sami Zayn. So yeah, an interesting one. Find out where we're going forwards.
Yeah, I don't know if I just completely misheard it, but I don't think Mr. Heyman said it was a spoiler.
Yeah.
And he's got a bit of a track record. When he says it's a spoiler, it tends to happen. And I think he just said, I'm telling you this is going to happen. And I was like, I don't think it is. I don't think he believed that. I think you want Mr. Tribal Chief to kick all their asses, and he probably will. Yeah, match is going to be great. I mean, probably going to draw in some big ratings for SmackDown because everyone's still... It was a hot crowd last night. I just noticed that across the board. Like, every single match they seem to be so up for. So hopefully just bottle a bit more of that. Take that into Corpus Christi, Texas, and then...
Corpus Christi.
So yeah, I want to see that, and I'm excited for it. So give me all that good Bloodline KO Zayn stuff.
Lovely stuff. But thank you for joining us for today's wrestling news. Just want to end the news by giving a massive shout out to everybody we met at WrestleMania weekend. It was all just a lovely time, and there is lots of interviews and stuff coming, so make sure you check them all out on the channel. There's a bunch of them out already. Xavier Woods, Shelton Benjamin, the Usos, but there is a whole lot more coming, so watch this space and make sure you watch them all. But you can also follow us over on Twitter. You can follow me at Film My Chambers, and you can follow Gareth
at GMorgan04.
And you can follow all of us at WhatCulture WWE. Subscribe to the channel. Like I say, keep an eye out for loads more interviews coming up. But ups and downs for SmackDown and Rampage is also coming up today, so watch out for those. And most importantly, have yourselves a bloody good day.
Bye-bye.